អង្គុយចុះ
Please be seated.
បាទអង្គជំនះប្រកាសបន្តកិច្ចដំណើរការនីតិវិធី
The court is now in session, and the floor is handed over to Defense Counsel for Mr. Kirsampon to continue putting questions to this witness if there are any more. But first, could counsel advise the court as to how much time counsel needs to finish his questioning?
Une quinzaine de minutes, Monsieur le Président.
About 15 minutes, Mr. President.
Please, you may proceed.
Pardon. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. Witness, before the break, I was asking you whether you recall meeting with tribunal investigators in another year that is other than 2008, and you told me that you would trust me to find any traces of another meeting with investigators held on another date. I would like to insist on this point, witness, because it is important for me to know how good your memory is, and in particular to ascertain whether you are able to remember important meetings such as meetings with the investigators of the tribunal held only a few years ago. So let me put my question to you again. Do you only remember meeting with tribunal investigators in October 2008, or you met with them on any other occasions?
I would like to clarify this issue. The investigators only interviewed me once. As I indicated previously, I may have forget as to how many times I was interviewed, but I would like to consult with my duty counsel.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. A question is posed to the witness. The witness is now asked to give an answer. There's no need to consult the his lawyer because we don't know what the lawyer may advise him. They may give him the answer. I object.
The President. Thank you, counsel. I would like to remind a witness and his duty counsel once again that the role of the duty counsel is to pay attention to only questions that may require the witness to give self-incriminating answers. That is when the Jury Counsel is called for, that is to advise his client as to whether he needs to answer such questions or not. Besides, Jury Counsel may assist the witness by giving signals to him or her as to when to answer the question. So, Jury Counsel should be reminded of this role, that is to pay attention to only questions that may lead a witness to give self-incriminating answers. This applies the same to witness answers the question, that is, witness is supposed to answer the question only on the basis of what he knows or remembers. Defense Counsel for Kyrgyzstan, you may proceed.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
លោកសួរបញ្ជាក់សំណួរឲ្យម្ដងទៀតពីព្រោះដំណងផ្លេចហើយណាសំណួរមិញហ្នឹង
The President, a witness appears to forget the question you last asked to him. The chamber also forgets the question, so please put your question again, and please be reminded not to repeat the questions asked already.
Combien de fois avez-vous
How many times did you meet with tribunal investigators?
I met the investigators in 2008, only once in that year.
Les avez-vous rencontrés d'autres années?
Did you meet with them in any other years?
I don't think so. It was the only one time I met them.
Vous souvenez-vous si vous les avez rencontrés
Do you remember meeting with them in 2009, 6 months after the first meeting?
I don't remember the date, but there was another interview.
Au cours de cet autre entretien, avez-vous
During that other meeting, did you sign another report?
After the interview, I signed on the written documents that reflected the content of the interviews.
Et justement, est-ce que vous
And do you remember what the second interview was about?
Response: I don't remember the details. And when I was being interviewed, I would respond to questions put to me, and all the statements were recorded, but I'm afraid I cannot really recollect the details of the statement I made.
Mais sans en...
But without getting into the details, do you recall the general subject of that second interview?
Response. As stated, when I was being asked, I was able to respond to questions immediately, and all the responses were recorded very well, and I remember.
Est-ce que vous pourriez...
Can you please provide an example of a question that was asked by the investigators during that second interview?
Response. No, I'm afraid not.
Hier, à...
Yesterday, before this chamber, you were asked whether you knew Salot Ban, whose revolutionary alias is or was So Hong. Do you remember being asked that question yesterday?
Response. Yes, I do. I was asked the question and I responded that I didn't know him.
C'est ce que je voulais vérifier.
This is exactly what I wanted to verify, sir. Thank you. To conclude this cross-examination, I wish to draw your attention to the passage which is located at 6 minutes, 1 hour, 28 minutes, 20 seconds. At those particular points of the audio recording, reference is made to an interview with the investigators the day previous of your first interview, that is to say on the 8th of October 2008. And that, Mr. President, will conclude my cross-examination of this witness. I thank you.
The President, thank you, Counsel. We would like to now hand over to counsels for Mr. Nuon Chea to put questions to the witness if they would wish to do so. Counsel Son Arun. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Your Honors. Good morning, Mr. Eun Tan. I am Son Arun, representing Mr. Nuon Chea. I have a few questions to put to you. Mr. Tan, from 1968 through 1970, you joined the revolution and you worked as a messenger. My question is about your function. Was your job easy, difficult, dangerous? Response. As a messenger, the task was not difficult. When there were letters, I had to carry them. If not, I stayed in the office. And I had to do that since 1970. Counsel. Thank you. You said messenger's task was not difficult. And at some points, you had to carry letters to a long distance from on Dong Mia, for example, all the way to Wern Sai. Had you ever have a kind of feeling if you were arrested and that you were a messenger? Were you concerned? Response. When I carried letters from Ratanakiri to Wern Sai, I had no fear because I had to carry them in the forest. I had to pass several villages. No fear. Question. Before you became the messenger, had you ever been trained to become a messenger? Response. As already stated, Pan was the chief, and there were meetings concerning how letters could be carried from Ratanakiri to Wern Sai, back and forth. And as I told you, it was not difficult because the letters had to be carried across villages. There were people there. Question. Were you aware of any other messengers? Were they endangered in their capacity as messengers? Response. No, I wasn't aware of this. Question. I think I need to move to another question. You said you carried letters from On Dong Mia to Wern Sai. It was a long distance between two locations, and you said that there was no danger and you had good feeling. Did you ever imagine a situation in which you were arrested by the enemy? What would be your reason? The President interrupts. Witness is instructed not to respond to hypothetical question. Counsel Sonarun. Thank you, Mr. President. I move to the next question instead. During the time of the liberation, indeed when Phnom Penh was liberated, you did not go to Phnom Penh immediately. You wait until 10 to 15 days after Pol Pot had already been in Phnom Penh, and that you had to stay behind to prepare belongings for Pol Pot. When you were in Tropang Tum, what was your general impression concerning the vicinity you lived in? Indeed, immediately after Phnom Penh was liberated. Tell us about your impression concerning people and the general aspect of the vicinity you lived in. Response. Both the villagers and people in my unit had nothing to panic about. They were happy, they were joyful because the country was liberated. So we did not have any bad feeling about this. Question. "10 to 15 days. After that, you came to Phnom Penh. Can you tell the court of your observation concerning the situation on the road when you were traveling to Phnom Penh, the traffic, the people, and other things?" Response. When I came to Phnom Penh, I noted that the situation was normal. People went about their life as usual. Counsel. Thank you. You said that people living condition was normal. But were people informed that Phnom Penh was liberated? Or have you heard anything that people knew this? Response. I think we heard about this from others. Trop Peng Tum was not close to Phnom Penh, but we could hear this information through other peoples that Phnom Penh was liberated. Counsel, thank you. What about traffics on the road? Did you see evacuees or people being panicked, running around, things like that? Response. During my course of trip from Kampong Cham to Phnom Penh, I saw people coming from Phnom Penh, and I saw people with children walking on the road near Prek Dam location. That's what I observed, people with their children walking on the streets. Counsel, thank you. When you arrived Phnom Penh, what was your first impression concerning the city? Response. Phnom Penh was very quiet. It was empty. People already left. As I indicated, people were crowded at the Prek Dam location, and these people left Phnom Penh. Question. Are you saying that you did not even see civilians as well as the soldiers? Response. Yes, it is correct. Counsel, thank you. When you came to Phnom Penh, you did not see any persons. The city was quiet. Were you suspicious? Response. Indeed, I was. Because it was very quiet. I was thinking where these people could have gone to. I only saw them getting together, very crowded in Prek Dam location. I did not know where else they would go. Question. After Phnom Penh was liberated, you had to wait 10 to 15 days before you moved in, and that Pol Pot had to go to Phnom Penh before you. When you arrived in Phnom Penh, You said you worked with Pang. Is that correct? Response: Yes, it is. Question: You had been working with Pang for quite some time. What was his actual responsibility at the office of 870? Response: He was overly in charge at the office of 870. Question: Could you describe Pang to the court? What was he like? A kind of gentle, cruel person? Response: Pang was a gentle, friendly person. He was very nice to every combatant. He was not a mean person. Counsel: Thank you. When you worked with Pol Pot in Trop Bang Tam, was Pang also with you? Response: Yes, he was. Question: Mr. Tan, you had worked with the senior leaders and in your capacity as the bodyguard to Pol Pot. According to your statement before the co-investigating judges and your statement you made yesterday before parties, you stated that you knew Mr. Nuon Chea very clearly. Is it correct? Response: Yes, it is. Counsel: You said you knew him very well. Can you describe Nuon Chea's character to the court? Was he an educated person, a very cruel man who purged other people, arrested people, or was he a normal and gentle person? Response: According to my interaction with him, being close to him, Mr. Nuon Chea is a gentle person, an educated person who be a good advice giver. He educated people to be good, and that's what my observation is. Counsel: Thank you. According to document E3/33, you stated before the co-investigating judges that when the leader of the military came to the meeting at the Olympic Stadium, you had never seen Nuon Chea, Khieu Samphan, and Ieng Sary attending the meetings. But you saw Mr. Son Sen. Do you know why the senior leaders did not attend the military meetings? Response: At that time, the meetings at the Olympic Stadium, the military meetings, were chaired by Pol Pot, and Son Sen also attended the meetings. And why Mr. Kilsampon, Noon Chea, and Ieng Sari did not attend the meeting? Because they were attached to other section. When the military meetings were concerned, it was Son Sen who was leading the military, who would be there to attend the meeting, and that's why Noon Chea, Kilsampon, and Noon Chea would not be seen in those such meetings. Counsel, thank you. You said that when it comes to military meetings, only the leaders of the military attended, including Son Sen. But can you tell us, or the court, did you know Son Sen clearly? Response. I just heard that Mr. Son Sen attended the meeting. I heard people told me. I never saw him in person. Question. Do you know what Son Sen was doing back then? Response. No, I don't. Question. Mr. Noon Chea was the head of the National Assembly or the People's Representative Assembly of the CPK, and he was the Deputy Secretary of the party. Mr. Kilsampon, after King Norodom Sihanouk resigned, became the head of state. Mr. Ieng Sari was the Deputy Prime Minister in charge of the foreign affairs. With these senior positions, and then when the military meetings were convened, why these people were absent? Response. I personally do not know why, because I just didn't see them in those meetings, and I don't know. I just didn't see them. Counsel, thank you. I would like to move to another question. You testified to the prosecutor that you saw the revolutionary flag and used magazines. May I seek clarification from you whether you have actually seen them? Response. Yes, I saw the revolutionary flags, magazines, and the use flag magazine distributed to people in various places. Counsel, thank you. Can you tell the court or describe to the court the brief description of the magazines? Were they booklets? And what color were they on the cover pages? Response. The magazines were of women carrying bundle of rice, grain, and a sickle and a hammer as the symbol or logo. Counsel, anything else you would wish to add? Response, nothing more. Counsel, thank you. Did you ever happen to open and read the magazines? Response, yes, I did, but I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I just looked at the pictures. I looked at the pictures. I noted the women carrying the rice, and I saw the sickle, the hammer, but I couldn't read anything. Counsel, thank you. You said you opened the magazines, but you couldn't read. Could you tell us whether the writing was like typed or handwritten? Because you may tell us. Response. The writings were typed. And on some pages, there were color. Counsel, thank you. Mr. Tan, you saw the revolutionary flags. How often did you see them? Response. Revolutionary flags were published in 1975, 1976, and the following years, and there were frequent issues of the magazines. Question. You stated that you saw the revolutionary flag magazines, you opened the pages, and you described the appearance of the revolutionary flags. Did you ever understand the content of the magazines, or were you ever told the content of such magazines to you? Response. No. Counsel, I would like to go back to the question concerning Pang. Yesterday, you, Mr. Tan, stated before the co-investigating judge, rather the co-prosecutors, that when you heard or you learned the disappearance of Pang, and you didn't know how Pang disappeared, whether he were killed or transferred. But you said you were afraid, or your feeling was mixed. You were afraid, nervous, and not very nervous or afraid. But actually, what is your feeling? Were you afraid? Were you scared or not? Response. I would like to also talk about the disappearance of Pang. And as I already indicated, personally, I was suspicious because I didn't see him on several consecutive days, and I was doubtful because normally he would come to the place and he did not turn up. I kept asking other people for this information, and no one could tell me about his whereabouts. And I was worried, afraid. And with some instructions from Pol Pot, who told me that he had no idea where Pang could have been, and he asked me to work hard. I was asked not to be worried or afraid. I just had to continue working. Yeah.
Question. You said you were afraid. Why were you afraid? Were you sure that Pang was mistreated, was arrested, or was killed? Response. I was afraid. not because I knew he was arrested or tied up. I did not know anything about that. But because Bong disappeared for several days, I felt within me afraid. But as time passed by, I no longer thought of that. I received instructions from Pol Pot not to be worried, and that I was supposed to continue working, to do plantation and to supply food. Question. Thank you. Yesterday, Judge Lavange asked you about the messages that Pol Pot asked you to deliver to Nuon Chea. Were you the one who personally delivered those messages, or did you hand those messages to someone else to deliver to Mr. Nuon Chea? Response. As for the messages or telegrams from Pol Pot, I asked my subordinates to deliver those messages to Nuon Chea. Question. Can you state it again that you asked your subordinates to deliver the messages to Nuon Chea, or was it you who personally delivered the messages to Nuon Chea? Response. It was my subordinate who delivered the messages to Nuon Chea. Question. Did you know where from was the messages sent to Pol Pot? No, I did not, says the witness. Question. Who gave it to you so that you can deliver the message to Pol Pot? Response. I said it yesterday. It was sent from K7 to me, so I received that from K7 and delivered it to Pol Pot. A question. Thank you. I do not have any further questions. Thank you, witness. Thank you, Mr. President. The President. Next, the floor is handed over to Defense Counsel for Mr. Ieng Sary to put questions to this witness. You may proceed, Counsel.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Your Honors. Good morning to everyone in and around the courtroom. And good morning, witness. I'm representing, along with Mr. Angodom, Mr. Ieng Sary. I have very few questions, mostly for clarification purposes. Today you told us that all of your statements were recorded. Can you please tell us whether you had an opportunity to listen to the recordings of your statement?
I do not understand your question. Can I have it again, please?
Yes. Today you told us that when you provided your statement to the investigators, that it was recorded. Did you have an opportunity before coming here today to listen to the tape recordings?
បាទខ្ញុំអត់ដែលស្ដាប់
No, I never listened to the recordings.
And before coming here today to give your evidence, did someone from this court at least read to you the statements that you had provided to refresh your memory? Did that happen?
Yes, someone read that for me.
All right. Now, in the first statement that you gave, which is E3/33, it's noted that the questioning began at 9:35 in the morning and it ended approximately 3:30 in the afternoon. Is that about right?
Yes, it is correct.
Do you recall, do you have an independent memory, that is, of being questioned the day before you provided this tape-recorded statement?
Yes, there was once.
And I take it that interview were with the same investigators that questioned you when the following day when your answers were tape recorded, correct?
Yes, correct.
And here is the point of clarification that I'm seeking. Can you please explain to us how long of an interview you had with these investigators the day before, and that would be October 8, 2008?
At the time, as I remember, it took 1 day.
Now, just to be sure that I understand, that we all understand your testimony, on the 8th, you answered questions for an entire day, and then the following day, on the 9th, you were asked questions, and those questions were tape recorded. Do I have it right?
You are right.
Now let's talk about the day of the events when you were asked questions and you provided answers which are not tape recorded, and for the trial chamber's benefit, this is not reflected in the summary prepared by the Office of the Co-Investigative Judges. Can you please tell us what questions were posed to you, if you recall?
The President, a witness, please hold. Just International Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed.
Your Honours, we have no objection to the substance of the questions, but I think my learned colleague was just stating then that the interview on the 8th was not recorded. I don't recall the witness being asked specifically about that date and stating that that interview was not recorded. Perhaps if that can be asked first, and then we can move on.
Fair enough, Mr. President. Fair enough, Your Honors. I thought the matter was clear with the Khieu Samphan defense team, but do you know whether on the 8th, the day that you say you were questioned for an entire day, whether those questions and answers were tape recorded?
At that time, I think it was not recorded.
And in fact, do you recall telling the co-investigative judges on the 9th of October 2008 when they were asking you questions, and this is on the tape itself, and we have the coordinates of the tape, and that would be D107/2R at 00.05 minutes to 00.06 minutes. There you remind the co-investigative judges, the co-investigator investigators, that you answered questions already, and you were told, but now this is being tape recorded. Do you recall that?
បាទការក្តាប់ដាក់ជាប់ទៅគឺថាដូចគ្នា
As far as I can say, I do not remember it because at that time during the interview I was answering the questions. I did not observe the tape recording. I was answering to the prosecutor, says the witness, honestly.
All right. Well, let's proceed, and then maybe if we have time, we can play the tape recording if necessary. Although since it isn't on the file, the trial chamber can listen to it on its own. Do you recall what questions were posed to you during that entire day? That is, the day before you were tape recorded.
បញ្ហានេះខ្ញុំ
It is hard for me to answer this question because I do not remember anything. As I said, I had poor thinking, so I was only answering the questions asked. As I told Mr. President, I do not remember.
All right. And if I were to ask you to please describe, or if you could tell us whether any documents were shown to you or read to you by the investigators in order to refresh your memory. Do you recall that?
At the time, the investigators interviewed me. After the interview was complete, I was read out that interview because I am illiterate. So someone read it out for me, and I was listening to that.
Thank you, witness. But I'm asking about the day when you were interviewed, when it wasn't recorded, whether on that particular day, as questions were being asked of you, whether these investigators were reading documents or contents from documents to refresh your memory. Did that occur, if you recollect?
I cannot recollect, as I told you.
So it would be fruitless for me to ask you the topics also that were being discussed on that particular day. Or do you recall?
The President, please counsel ask this question again. I am not sure whether it was your observation or your question. Witness will not be able to answer your question based on the Khmer language, whether it was a question or a statement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you recall what topics were discussed by the investigators? That is the day before you were questioned, and those questions and answers were tape recorded.
I would like to consult with my duty counsel. I do not understand the matter here.
Dạ, saya
President, a witness, you are not allowed to consult with your duty counsel, as you are already informed that you can only consult with your duty counsel when it comes to questions that lead you to answer or give self-incriminating answers. And you are supposed to answer the question based on what you know and remember. Please answer the question, witness.
At
the time, as I said, I was not remembering everything. I was confused as well when I was answering the questions.
And that was my next question. Today, you told us that you're illiterate, you do not understand politics, you're confused and forgetful. Were you confused and forgetful when you met with the investigators of the Office of the Co-Investigative Judges on 8 October 2008, when you were questioned, and those answers, questions and answers, were not tape recorded?
As I said, I was forgetful.
And did the investigators try to assist you, that is, assist your memory, by telling you things, giving you information which may be helpful for the following day when you were questioned and your answers were tape recorded?
It is hard for me to answer this question.
Sir, I want to thank you very, very much on behalf of Mr. Ing Sari, Mr. O'Donnell, and I would like to thank you for coming here and giving your evidence, and wish you a safe journey back home. Thank you, Mr. President, Your Honors. We have no further questions.
The President, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Eun Tan. The hearing of your testimonies has come to the end. The trial chamber would like to express its gratitude for your coming here, for your patience and your efforts to contribute to ascertaining the truth. Now you can be excused to go back to your home or your other destinations. I wish you a good trip back home. Court officer is instructed to facilitate with Wesu so that he can be brought back to his home or other places he pleased. Today's hearing of Mr. Eun Tan's testimonies has come to the end earlier than expected. The court will be adjourned and will be resumed on Tuesday, on the 19th of June 2012 at 9 o'clock in the morning. The Chamber would like to inform the public as well that the hearing on Tuesday next week will hear testimony of two witnesses, T.C. TCW797 and TCW321. The hearings will commence on Monday morning at 9 o'clock. The prosecution will begin the questioning before any other parties. And the hearing may proceed until Friday morning. Yes, the prosecution, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may make a very brief application just to avoid written pleadings. I think we've heard today that there are matters in the audio recording of the 9th of October which, and we believe our counsel on their word when they state so, which indicate a prior interview on the 8th, and the witness himself has confirmed that a prior interview took place. We think it would be appropriate to first obtain a transcript of that interview of the 9th of October, and then perhaps consider requesting from the Office of the Co-Investigating Judges any clarifications as to a record of the 8th of October, whether such a record exists as well. We think it would assist in ascertaining the truth, because there is a degree of doubt now as to just what was placed on the record and what interviews took place.
If I may respond very briefly, we concur. I just sent a message. I have the relevant portion to be played, but I wish to save time. But I concur. It'll be self-evident what the gentleman says on the tape, and I don't think there will be a need for clarification. But I did send a message right now to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Chamber does not have to rule on this matter. Relevant parties can include this in their submissions. Security guards are now instructed to take the 3 accused persons back to the detention facility and to return them back to this courtroom on the morning of Tuesday, 19th June of 2012. And as for Mr. Ieng Sary, if he expresses his position to waive his rights to be present in the courtroom by providing the written waiver to the Chamber before the commencement of the hearing, security guards are instructed to coordinate with the greffiers and to bring Mr. Ieng Sary to the holding cell for him to follow the proceeding. The Chamber will review the possibility of allowing him to do so. The court is now adjourned.